Hi everybody, this is Karen, and today I'd like to talk about one of my favorite things to teach, which is tag questions. So let's begin. We use tag questions to check information or comment on a situation. And the tag, when we say tag, we mean something we add on to the end of a sentence. And when we add on a tag question, we essentially are either checking information or commenting on a situation, and the tag really means right. So we're verifying information. So tag questions have two parts, a statement and a tag. Now, if the statement is positive, the tag is negative. And if the statement is negative, the tag is positive. And the tag will use a form of be or an auxiliary such as have, do, will, can, could, or should. And in the tag, we're going to use pronouns. We won't repeat the subject's name, for example. We'll just change it to a pronoun. And we also want to talk about intonation. There's two ways we can do intonation with tag questions. So if you are checking on information or commenting on a situation, or in other words, you pretty much know this information already, you're just confirming it, your voice is going to go down on the tag or the second part of that sentence. If you don't know and you're getting information, your voice is going to go up on the tag. And let's take a look at some examples. So first of all, let's take a look at the grammar. So in our first example, Mark is from Montana, isn't he? So notice we have the be verb here. So we're going to use the be verb here. But notice in the first part, Mark is, that's positive. So my tag question is going to be negative, isn't he? Mark is from Montana, isn't he? So again, I've replaced Mark with he in my tag question. And of course, anytime I add this little question on at the end, we need a question mark. Now, there are two ways I can intonate this. If I'm pretty sure, I'm confident, I'm pretty sure he's from Montana, my voice will go down on the tag. So it will sound like, Mark is from Montana, isn't he? But if I really don't know and I'm asking, then my voice will go up on the tag and it will sound like, Mark is from Montana, isn't he? So do you hear the difference between the two? If you're pretty sure of the information and you're just confirming it, your voice goes down on the tag. If you don't know and you need verification, your voice goes up. So for example, the second one, you're tired, aren't you? My voice typically is going to go down on this one because normally we can often tell if someone's tired by the way they look. So we pretty much know they're tired, so our voice will go down. You're tired, aren't you? But if you really don't know, maybe you're talking to someone on the phone, then your voice might go up. You're tired, aren't you? And again, notice the grammar. We have the be verb here, it's positive. So in my tag, we have the be verb negative. Next one, he bought a new car, didn't he? So we have bought, positive. Now here, this is where I add in my auxiliary verb to make the negative. So I'm going to do did. He bought a new car, didn't he? And you'll notice the next one, they went to Florida last year, didn't they? So we're replacing the go verb with auxiliary didn't. Back to the be verb, she is afraid of dogs, isn't she? You can go, can't you? And let's talk about can and can't, by the way, while we're here. Typically when we use can, we don't say you can go. We say, it sounds more like kin, you can go. We reduce it, make it short, and the A changes to an I sound. But where we don't reduce it is in the can't. You can really hear that ah, especially if you're in the Midwestern part of the United States. We really emphasize the ah sound. So we'll keep it for the negative, for can't. But for can, it's going to sound more like you can go, can't you? Now, where this can get confusing is if you are pronouncing this can with a long ah sound, because in our mind, can is reduced to kin. So if I hear the ah, my mind is automatically going to translate it as can't. So just be careful of those, kin and can't. You can go, can't you? She's not hungry, is she? He's from Ireland, isn't he? And another thing I want to talk about too is the pronunciation when we have something like isn't he. In perfect English, we would say isn't he, but in regular English, we kind of run it together and we may not pronounce that H. So it's going to sound more like, isn't he? She talks fast, doesn't she? So again, pay attention to the grammar here. Notice positive if the tag is positive. I'm sorry, if the statement is positive, the tag is negative. If the statement is negative, the tag is positive. And now it's your turn. Let's see if you can try a few of these. So please complete the tag for each sentence below. I'll give you a few minutes to work on that, and then we'll go talk about the answers. So pause this, think about your answers, and then we'll go on to the next slide. All right, so answers. Ron is tall, isn't he? This is probably going to be confirmation. You probably already know this if you have seen him, so your voice most likely will go down. However, if you don't know, it may go up. Ron is tall, isn't he? You're smart, aren't you? Notice what happened when I said aren't you? I didn't say aren't you. It sounded more like aren't you? That's common when we have a T at the end of a word and a Y at the next, as the beginning of the next letter, it often changes to the ch sound. You're smart, aren't you? However, don't worry if you feel uncomfortable trying to remember and reproduce that. You don't have to. It's perfectly okay to say you're smart, aren't you? Totally okay. I just want you to know you'll hear Americans saying, aren't you? It's cold outside, isn't it? And again, this is when your voice will probably go down on the tag because normally we know if it's cold or not. She runs fast, doesn't she? He talks a lot, doesn't he? And again, what you might hear in everyday English, he talks a lot, doesn't he? So you may not hear that H. You did your homework, didn't you? Again, did you hear that ch between the didn't and the you? Rather than you did your homework, didn't you? You did your homework, didn't you? It's common to hear that. You don't have to reproduce that, but just be aware you might hear that. She doesn't like tests, does she? Now, if you were to ask me which is more common for your intonation to go up or to go down with tag questions, I would say it's more likely your voice will go down. We often use tag questions as a way to confirm information we already know. But if you do not know, that's when your voice goes up. Tag questions are fun, aren't they? All right, that's it. A very quick overview of tag questions. In the comments, let me know if you have any questions or make a tag question for me. All right, that's it. Have a great day. Thank you for watching and listening.